Welcome back to the 1994 Expos franchise. Thank you for such a great response to episode 1. I'm glad there's actually some interest in this series. If you've downloaded the roster, please leave a comment below and let me know what you're using it for. Today we'll be finishing up our opening series against the Atlanta Braves. Starting with Game 2, we'll just hop right on into it. We have Ken Hill on the mound going up against John Smoltz for the Braves. Same exact lineups for both squads in this one. I briefly mentioned this in episode 1, but I'm playing these games on Hall of Fame difficulty right now. Once I win 6 games in a row, I'll move up and play on Legend difficulty because I want this to be a challenge and not just a ridiculously easy playthrough, but I want to just start on Hall of Fame to get comfortable.
On the mound, 28-year-old Ken Hill, 6'2", 200-pounder out of Lynn, Massachusetts. Fastball, forkball, changeup. He is tied with Doug Drabek and Greg Maddux for the top number of wins in the National League.
Leading off for the Braves once again, Deion Sanders, and he takes the first pitch from Hill for strike 1. Next pitch, Deion lays a bunt down to third, and Sean Berry will have no play, so a leadoff base runner for Atlanta. Next batter in a 1-2 count, Mark Lemke sends one out to center field for Marquise Grissom to make the catch for out number 1. Taking another look at the Braves lineup, we'll definitely need to be aware of Justice and McGriff in the middle. Justice steps in. He takes a 1-0 pitch and pops it up to left. Alou over in foul territory makes the catch for out number 2. Next up, Fred McGriff. He works the count to 2-2, but swings and a miss at a slider for out number 3. So Ken Hill works around to lead off base runner for a scoreless first. To the bottom of the first, Marquise Grissom leads off, and he rolls one over to third. Pendleton fields and throws on over, 1 away. Next batter, Mike Lansing. And Lansing rips one perfect to center field. Deion going back, and he will make the play because Lansing has no juice. Up next, Moises Alou steps in. And on a 1-2 pitch from Smoltz, Alou sends a high fly ball deep to left, but not deep enough. Klesko back at the wall. He'll make it right on the track in front of the wall for out number 3. There's some loud outs for the Expos in the first, but Smoltz is able to work a 1-2-3 inning. Leading off the second is Ryan Klesko. He will stare at strike 3 in the zone for out number 1. Next batter, Javi Lopez. He ropes one to left. Alou coming on, and he dives and makes the catch. Oh, what a play by Alou. Let's take another look. Alou coming in full extension, dive for the second out. What a play. Moving on, Terry Pendleton steps up, and he chops one to short. Cordero coming on. He'll field, make the throw over to first for the final out of the second. So some good defense in the top of the second for the Expos. On to the next inning. Larry Walker will lead us off. And the 2-2 pitch from Smoltz breaks his bat, pops up. Pendleton in will make the catch easily for out number 1. Next up, Darren Fletcher. He also pops one up over to short center field, and Blauser moves out and makes the catch 2 away. Cordero steps in for his first at-bat, and he shoots one the other way through the hole for a base hit, a 2-out base runner, and the Expos have their first hit of the game. Here comes yesterday's hero, Cliff Floyd, and he immediately ends the excitement by flying out to left on the first pitch. Moving to the top of the third, Jeff Blauser leads off, and he shoots a line drive, but Lansing is able to range back and make the catch for out number 1. A nice play by Lansing. Next batter, John Smoltz. He grounds one. Floyd fields and steps on the bag, out number 2. The Braves lineup flips back over, and Deion sends a chopper over to third. Barry fields, throws across his body, and gets the speedy Sanders for the final out. A nice play by Sean Barry to avoid the second weak hit single for Dion. Next inning, Barry leading off, grounds one to his own position, and Pendleton fields and throws him out for the first out. The pitcher spot, Ken Hill, comes up, and he chases out of the zone for strike 3. 2 away. Grissom back up for his second at bat, and he laces one back up the middle. Perfect for a 2-out base runner. On the very next pitch, Grissom in motion, Lansing swinging, and it's a base hit through the hole. Klesko gets it in to keep Grissom at second, but the Expos have first and second with 2 outs here in the third. Alou with an opportunity here to get the Expos on the board. 2-2 pitch. Chase is out of the zone because I am trash at this game. Going to the top of the fourth, Ken Hill, 0-2 pitch to Lemke. Soft liner to short. Cordero makes the catch. 1 away. Next batter, David Justice. Line drive back off of Ken Hill. Hill tries to recover and make the play. He'll have no play. And now we got to see if he is going to be okay. No, he is not going to be okay. He's hurt. So it's a hand injury apparently. Ken Hill is going to be removed from the game. So I guess this is going to be a bullpen game now. So we're going to go with Gabe White for his first outing of the year. Hopefully he can give us some length. First batter after the injury is McGriff, and on a 3-2 count, grounds one to Lansing. On to second for one. On to first. Double play to end the inning. So a great start of the outing for Gabe White out of the pen. Jumping right ahead to the bottom of the fifth, Sean Barry starts it up with a ground ball to short. Blauser fields, throws across his body for out number 1. A nice play by the shortstop. Pinch hitting for Gabe White is going to be Lou Frazier off the bench. Frazier rolls an 0-1 pitch to second. Lemke fields, throws on to first, and gets Frazier for the second out. Here comes Grissom, back up, and he'll ground one up the middle for his second hit of the day. Next up, Lansing. And Grissom is going on the first pitch. It's a strike, but Grissom's going to be safe, and he's going to be in there for a stolen base. Later in the at-bat, Lansing lofts one into center. Blauser going back. Is this going to drop in? No. Blauser makes a nice catch and ends the threat for the Expos. Headed to the sixth, Gil Heredia is on out of the pen. And he immediately gets Smoltz to line out over to Alou, and he makes the catch for the first out. Next up, Dion rolls one over to second, fielded by Lansing, and he makes a really nice play to get the Hall of Fame cornerback for out number 2. Lemke follows him up, and he lines one short, but Cordero is going to get there for out number 3. Bottom 6 now. Moises Alou skies one deep out to right field, but Justice is able to make the catch right before the track. Next up, Larry Walker. He steps in, and he laces a perfect single to right field. So a base runner here in the 6th. Expos trying to get on the board. Next batter, Darren Fletcher. He draws a walk in a 3-2 count, and Smoltz is in trouble here. Huge opportunity for Will Cordero, and Cordero is not going to come through as he lost a lazy fly ball to right. Justice makes the catch. 2 away. Cliff Floyd in now, trying to make the most of this opportunity, and he lines one caught by a leaping Pendleton. Oh, stealing an RBI. Terry Pendleton keeps us scoreless. Another look at the replay. Completely blocked by the third base coach. Great job by this cameraman. Wish I could see the replay. But more importantly, we remain scoreless after 6. Starting the 7th, Gil Heredia is still on, facing David Justice, and Justice rips one to center, but not deep enough as Grissom moves over easily for out number 1. Next batter, McGriff. And he rips one deep to right field, but Larry Walker is going to make the catch with his back up against the wall for out number 2. On to Klesko with 2 outs and a 2-2 count. He grounds one past a sliding Cliff Floyd into right field for a 2-out base runner. Javi Lopez steps in and he sends one out to center. Grissom coming on. He will make the catch. The running grab coming in to end the threat in the 7th. Heading to the bottom of the inning, Smoltz still in, facing Sean Berry, and Berry pops one up to right field. Justice coming on in foul territory will get there for the first out. Now with the pitcher spot, we're going to go ahead and pinch hit with Juan Bell. And Bell on the 1-1 pitch will ground one over to first, but a nice stop by McGriff to keep it, and it's a fair ball and out number 2. Marquise Grissom up again, and he rolls one to third. Pendleton's going to have a tough play, jump throw to get the speedy Grissom. Oh, and another fantastic defensive play, and it's 7 scoreless for John Smoltz here in his first outing of the season. We're going to turn to Tim Scott here for the 8th to make his season debut, and he immediately is greeted by Terry Pendleton with a line drive single to center. Next up, Blauser sends a shallow fly ball to right. Walker comes on and makes the catch for out number 1. The Braves are going to turn to Tony Tarasco off the bench, and we're going to walk him, unfortunately. Next batter, Deion Sanders, lines a base hit to left. Alou going to come up throwing. The Braves are going to hold the runner at third. It's going to be bases loaded with 1 out for the meat of the Braves lineup. Next batter, Mark Lemke. He's going to loft one out to left. Alou coming on. He's not going to get there. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score, and it's 2-0 Atlanta. Next batter, David Justice, and he smokes one past a sliding Berry into left field. Deion will score easily. Alou makes no throw, and it's 3-0 Atlanta. A nice piece of hitting for Justice, who has started the season hot for Atlanta. He picks up his first RBI. 16 and a third scoreless innings to start the Expos season, ends here in the 8th. Mel Rojas would come in for Scott, and he gets McGriff to ground one over to first, on to second for 1, on to first, a double play. So quick work for Mel Rojas to work out of the jam. The Braves would turn to Mark Wohlers out of the pen in the 8th. Lansing trying to start something, and he smokes one to second, but the Braves defense comes through again as Lemke makes a leaping catch at second. Next batter, Alou, gives one to ride deep to her left, but once again not deep enough as Klesko is there for out number 2. Walker, swinging at the first pitch, grounds over to first. McGriff is able to make the catch, throws onto the pitcher covering to end the 8th. To the top of the 9th, Mel Rojas still in for Montreal against Ryan Klesko. Gets in a pop up to center. Grissom will have an easy play out there for out number 1. Next up, Javi Lopez in an 0-2 count, and he chases a slider outside, strike 3. Terry Pendleton with 2 outs. He's going to loft the lazy fly ball out to right, and Walker will make the catch easily. Our last chance to avoid our first loss coming up. Braves are going to bring in closer Greg McMichael for the 9th. Darren Fletcher steps in, and he smacks one into the left center field gap. Deion chasing it down, and he will get there for the first out. Next batter, Will Cordero with 1 away. He laces a base hit up the middle, and we're going to have a base runner here in the bottom of the 9th. Cliff Floyd looking to keep it going, and he will line one right at Blauser for the second out. Down to our last out, Sean Berry comes up, and in a 2-0 count, he sends one out to right field. Justice coming on. Will it fall in? No. Justice makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Expos fall to the Braves 3-0. We just got dominated by John Smoltz for our first loss of the season. Hit a bunch of balls hard, but right at guys, and couldn't push any across. A disappointing loss, but we'll have to try and win the series in the finale. Taking a look at the box score, the top 3 in the Braves order combined for 5 hits and all 3 of the RBIs, while Smoltz went 7 shutty. For us, Cordero and Grissom both had nice games, but we couldn't get the big hit, and after Ken Hill's injury, we eventually found the pitcher who didn't have it with Tim Scott. A tough loss, but it was going to happen eventually. So luckily, after the game, we found out Ken Hill's injury was nothing serious, just a bruise, so he'll be able to make his next start. All right, so we just got to move right on to the rubber match of the series. Kirk Reuter will take the bump for our Expos against Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. Goal of this game is to not get shut out, because that was embarrassing. For our lineup, we're going to go ahead and give Cliff Floyd a game off and have Rondell White make his first start of the year in the 8-hole while Larry Walker slides to first base. Braves run out the same lineup as they did for games 1 and 2. We get the game of the week for the rubber match at Olympic Stadium, and the crowd is getting rowdy. First batter of the game is once again Deion Sanders as he steps in. And he lines a single out to left field. Alou plays it on a hop and throws it back in for a leadoff base runner. Next batter with Deion in motion. Lemke lines one right at Lansing, who was covering, and they're going to have him doubled off. So the hit and run backfires against Atlanta, and a break for Kirk Reuter, as instead of first and second, nobody out, it's nobody on and 2 outs. Next batter, David Justice in an 0-1 count. He rolls another one over to Lansing, who fields and throws to first to end the first. A good start for Reuter through 1. Tom Glavine gets the start for the Braves, and for some reason, the show would not let him wear his actual number 47 because it is retired for him. So he wears 46. Marquise Grissom kicks us off, and he sends the first pitch high and deep to left field. Going back, Klesko, and he makes a catch on the track. Just like last game, just a bunch of balls to the track. Next batter, Mike Lansing ropes another one, but once again, right at Deion, 2 away. Alou looking to start something with 2, and he lost one. Lazy out to right field. Justice makes the catch, and each outfielder makes a catch in the first inning. More unlucky hitting for the Expos. Next inning, Reuter gets McGriff to pop one out to Alou in left. Alou makes the catch, 1 away. Klesko in for his first at-bat, and he pops one lazily out to center, and Grissom will make the catch, 2 away. Javi Lopez now steps in, and he crushes one towards the right center field gap. Going back is Grissom, and he will not have a play. He'll play it up against the wall, and it's going to be a 2-out double for Javi Lopez and an RBI chance for Pendleton. A nice piece of hitting for Javi. Opportunity for Pendleton, but he grounds one over to Walker at first, who steps on the bag to end the threat. Starting up the next inning, Tom Glavine, the 1-1 pitch to Larry. Larry gives one a ride out to right field. Going back is Justice, but he will make the catch once again right in front of the track. Just warning track power on this lineup. Next batter, Darren Fletcher. He rolls one over to second, but Lemke throws the ball away, and we're going to have a base runner here. A bad throw by Mark Lemke. I believe it might be the first error of the series for the Braves. Next batter, Cordero, lines a base hit up the middle and through for a base hit. Fletcher holds at second, and it's going to be first and second with 1 out. Next batter, Sean Berry, looking for his first hit of the season, and he does. He comes through. 1 run will score. Cordero coming around. He rounds third, and he will score with no throw. It's a 2-run double for Sean Berry, and the Expos are on the board. A nice piece of opposite field hitting for his first hit of the season after going hitless through the first 2 games. The Braves would intentionally walk Rondell White to get to the pitcher. Kirk Reuter steps in, and on the first pitch from Glavine, he lays down a successful sacrifice bunt. Lemke gets the out at first, and it's going to be second and third with 2 away. Next batter, Marquise Grissom, gets into one to left, but just under it as Klesko will make the catch for the out. Moving ahead to the top of the third, Jeff Blauser steps in, and he pops one up right in front of home plate. Fletcher in fair territory makes the catch for out number 1. The pitcher, Tom Glavine, steps in, and he ropes one out to right field. Rondell White coming on. Can he make the play? No, it gets by him. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Glavine rounding first. He's going to have extra bases. He'll have a double with 1 out here in the top of the third. So the Braves have a chance to answer back with their pitcher helping himself. Next batter, Deion, rips one right at Rondell White, but this time he will make the catch and fires into third to keep the base runner at second. Reuter's going to lose Lemke in a full count to a walk, and then David Justice comes up, and he lines one to left field. Alou comes up firing. We're going to have a play at the plate. Berry's relay to the plate is in time to get Glavin for the final out of the inning, keeping the Braves off the board. What a perfect relay by the Expos. Oh, what a throw. Jumping ahead to the top of the fourth, Reuter's still working, and McGriff lines a base hit through the left side for a single. Next batter, Ryan Klesko. He follows up with a single of his own to center field, and the Braves have something here in the fourth. 2 on and nobody out. Next batter, Javi Lopez. He sends one out to center field. Grissom will make the catch, 1 away. Looking for a double play. Pendleton steps in and he grounds one to second. Lansing flips to second for 1. Cordero throw to first in time to end the inning. So Reuter works out of another jam here in the fourth inning. A huge play to end the inning. Leading off the bottom of the fourth, Will Cordero steps in and he lofts one out to center field. Dion over into the gap and he makes the catch for out number 1. Next batter, Sean Berry. He sends one out to center field once again, and Dion will make the catch once again. 2 away. With 2 away, Rondell White steps in, and he also sends one out to center field. And Dion will make the catch easily. So 3 chances for Dion and 3 outs. On to the top of the fifth, Reuter working against Jeff Blauser. Blauser up the middle. Cordero diving stop, but he'll have no play, but he keeps it in the infield. So a leadoff base runner for the Braves. Next batter, Tom Glavin, looking to follow up his double, but he will not bunt, and he will take strike 3 looking. Up next, Dion hits a lazy fly ball. Berry's going to make the catch in foul territory for the second out. Mark Lemke with 2 away. Laces one, but right at Sean Berry to end the inning. A lot of hard contact and a lot of unlucky baseball for the Braves. To the bottom of the fifth, the pitcher gets out. And Marquise Grissom rolls over to third. Pendleton gets him for the second out. Lansing in a full count with 2 away. He rips one through the left side for a base hit. So a 2-out base runner here for the Expos in the fifth. Next batter, Moises Alou. He pops up. And his struggles in the opening series continue as Pendleton will make the catch easily to end the inning. On to the sixth. David Justice leading off, and he will roll one over to Larry Walker at first, who will step on the bag for the out. An easy play to start the sixth. McGriff stepping in again. And an 0-2 count, he rolls one over to first, but past a diving Walker, and another hit from McGriff. Klesko now, he sends one out to center field. Grissom, without having to move much, will be there to make the catch for out number 2. And in steps Javi Lopez, who's 1 for 2, and he sends one out to right field. Rondell White over into the gap, and he will make the catch easily to end the 6th inning. As we head to the 7th, the middle of the lineup's coming up. Larry Walker would get out, but the next batter, Darren Fletcher, on an 0-1 pitch. Darren Fletcher leaves the yard for the first time this season. A much-needed insurance run here in the 6th. We wouldn't make any more noise in the 6th, but moving to the 7th inning, Pendleton starts it with a grounder back to Reuter, who fields it and throws on to first for out number 1. Next up, Blauser, who's 1 for 2. He lines a single to center. Grissom fields and throws it back in, so a 1-out base runner for the Braves. Bill Picata off the bench, and he swings and misses for the second out. And then Dion steps in, and he lost one out to center. Grissom coming on, and his speed will make the catch without much of a doubt. Coming in for the Braves here in the bottom of the 7th is Steve Bedrosian, and we're going to turn to Cliff Floyd, the lefty, off the bench. On a 1-1 pitch, Floyd sends one out to center field, and Dion not going to have to move a lot. He's been kept busy throughout a lot of this series. He makes the catch. One away. Marquise Grissom next up. He rips one to third, but Pendleton is there, fields it on a knee, and fires across the diamond for out number 2. Mike Lansing trying to start something up, but he will chase a slider out of the zone to end the 7th. A good inning for Steve Bedrosian. We turn to Jeff Shaw for the 8th inning, and he immediately gets Lemke swinging at strike 3. Next batter, David Justice, 0-2, is sent over to second. Lansing fields backhand, fires over to first, 2 away. Fred McGriff now in a 1-2 count. He pops one up. Walker coming in, but it's going to be Jeff Shaw who's actually going to catch it for himself to end the inning. So a strong inning by the Expos reliever. Leading off the bottom of the 8th, Moises Alou rips one into the left center field gap. That's going to be extra bases, and it rolls up against the wall. Alou rounding first. He's going to have a leadoff double, and the Expos have something going here in the bottom of the 8th. Next batter, Larry Walker. He rips one past McGriff into right field. Alou rounding third. He will score, and it's an RBI single for Larry Walker. A great piece of hitting by our best player to make it not a save situation and let us use somebody else other than John Wetland. Next batter, Darren Fletcher. He pops one out over to center field. Dion comes in, makes the catch for out number 1. Next batter, Will Cordero, who's having a good series. He rips one, another one into the gap, and that's going to be extra bases. Alou rounding third. He's going to try and score. It's going to be a ribby double for Will Cordero, and it's 5-0 Montreal. The bats are coming alive here at the end of the series. Mike Bilecki on to replace Mike Stanton, and he immediately serves one up to Sean Berry, who gets his second RBI hit of the game. It's now 6-0 Montreal. Next batter, Rondell White. He chases out of the zone, strike 3 for the second out of the inning. Lou Frazier off the bench would ground out to first to end the inning, but the Expos double their lead. It's 6-0 entering the 9th. Dennis Boucher is on to make his season debut in a low-leverage spot. He gets Klesko swinging at a curveball in the dirt for the first out. After Javi Lopez reached, Pendleton serves up a line out to right for the second out. And in a 2-2 count, Boucher gets Blauser looking at a curveball for strike 3 to end the ball game. Expos come away with an opening series victory against a division rival. A nice clean victory, and on a weird note, through 3 games, the losing team has been shut out each time. The Braves struggled, just like we did in Game 2, getting 9 hits but not being able to score. For us, it was our 4 through 7 spots that provided the runs, highlighted by 3 RBIs from Sean Berry. 7 shutout innings as well for Kirk Rueter in his season debut. Looking ahead, next up we welcome the Detroit Tigers to Montreal for a 3-game set. Taking a look at the Tigers, they're 3-0 after sweeping Milwaukee, and their roster is highlighted by Mickey Tettleton, David Wells, and Cecil Fielder. This video is definitely on the long side, so I will be cutting them down in the future, but this one just happened to be extremely long, as I'm still figuring out what I'm doing with this series. Thanks as always for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.